possession. So, Leuzinger, of course, coming into this contest, having a bit of a down season overall. They are 7-17, as was mentioned. That basket put up and in by the Olympians, so the Olympians have a 4-0 lead here in the early going. Rebound controlled by the Olympians. It's key to Daryl Street be a factor in this game for the Olympians. As we talked about the last time we saw them, we know that Street's a young guy still coming into his own, finding his way around. They get the nice inside pass, and they're going to say Street pushed off on him. And that's the call. Push off on number 34 Street. That's his first personal of the game. We'll set the West Torrance lineup for you now. Handling the ball, that's Gerard Carroll. Gives it over to Kenny Brown. Brown's shot put up, doesn't go. It's taken down by 42 and put up and in by Trevon Hurd. Also out there is Zoom Sinsack. And the other Saxon, as we mentioned earlier, number 34, Jason Davis. Saxon still in control. Baseline jumper put up, it doesn't go. They control the offensive rebound. Put up, that shot blocked inside by Quentin Crooks. Crooks had a big game the last time we saw the Olympians as well. Out here handling on the right, Greg Culpepper. His pass inside, looking for Street, doesn't go. Now the Saxons look inside. Easy one there. Not put in by number 42, Trevon Hurd, but we've got a foul call on the play. That foul goes against number 10, Crooks. Nice inside pass there to number 5, Gerard Carroll, and he puts it up and gets the friendly home court bounce. So our score now, 6-4. Still there by the Saxons, and that basket put up and in by number 45, Chris Yamanjing. We got a foul call. Of course, there was a foul against the Olympians. Wait to see them put it up on the board. Right now, they still got Crooks' number up. Free throw, no good. Taken down by number 33, Aaron McCarter. Got a foul call against Culpepper. And right now, Coach Showalter not too satisfied with the officiating. Several tough calls against the Olympians thus far. Our score here in the first quarter, 8-4 in favor of the Saxons. Referee's whistle indicates that ball's going to go over to the Olympians. Apparently a violation since there was no call here. Full court press being employed by the Saxons. Dorrell Wright gets it in the middle. Nice looking jumper. Doesn't go for Dorrell though. So off come the Saxons, moving it up the right side of the court this time. They put it inside. That shot put up and in by Jason Davis. So they're going right at Daryl Street right now. Looks like the strategy is to get him in trouble. Loose ball there. Olympians fighting for it. Now we got a alternating possession. Indication is that it will be the Saxons basketball. That shot put up from the side doesn't go. Olympians come away with it. We've still got 4:20 left here in the first. Leuzinger right now trailing by a score of 10-4. After taking the early 4-0 lead, there's another turnover there. When I talked to Coach a couple of weeks ago, that's what he talked about, the impact of turnovers by this young Leuzinger team. Scored a basket for Kenny Brown, and now we've got a 12-4 game Two subs come on for the Olympians, number 22 and number 2. That's Billy Stone and Donnell Wright. Street, one of the players that goes off for the Olympians. So you got both rights in. Now that one doesn't go, but slam dunk by Dorrell Wright. Pass goes inside. Nice inside pass there to number 34, Jason Davis. Another turnover for the Olympians, having a little trouble now with the break. Score that basket for Kenny Brown, and it's a 10-point deficit now at 16-6. Leuzinger doesn't get the basket to go. Reverse layup. Follow put up and in by Dorrell Wright. Crooks with the reverse that didn't go. Dorrell Wright with the good follow. It's going to be a foul call on the inside. Looks like that's going to go on Donnell Wright. Referee giving a baleful stare, if you will, to Coach Showalter for some of his commentary. That first free throw is good by Jason Davis. Davis, a 6'3" senior. Extends the lead 17-8. Second one draws a lot of iron, doesn't go through though. That rebound taken down by Donnell Wright. If I didn't tell you already, fans, I'm sure most of you probably know, particularly if you're fans of Lawndale Community Cable, Hawthorne Community Cable, and our corporate partners at Time Warner. I'm Rufus Washington, working solo tonight, but as always, it's a pleasure to be here with you. North comes out. North has numbers, 3-on-2, but pass gets mishandled, so the break doesn't go. Leuzinger pressing all over the floor now. Tried to draw the charge, didn't get it. Teammates on the rebound. They come away with it, and now they're going to walk it up, bringing it up for the Olympians. Greg Culpepper on the floor with him, number 10, Crooks. 3 and 22 of the Wright brothers, Dorrell and Donnell respectively. Now you're going to get a foul call against Gerard Carroll. The other Olympian on the floor, by the way, is number 2, Billy Stone. Got Darryl Street reporting to the table. Street goes in for Crooks. Pass nearly intercepted there by Kenny Brown. Donnell Wright out top. They get it inside and put up and in by number 34, Darryl Street. Street being a little more of the offense tonight again than he was when we last saw this Olympian basketball team. Of course, I keep referring to when we last saw him. That, as you know, was against the Santa Monica Vikings. That pass knocked away by the Olympians. Donnell Wright, good defensive play there. This is Ross inbounding, gives it off to Brown of the Saxons. Now they get it underneath. Got a foul on the ground. Gives me a chance to tell you that the head coach of the Saxons, of course, is Gary Duperrin. His assistant is assistant coach Leroy Harris. Olympians right now showing a 2-3 zone. Torrance showing some patience, looking for the hole in the zone. They do get it in one of the holes, doesn't go. Wright comes down with the rebound, needs to catch and control. Wrap that up. Culpepper brings it across. Our score, 17-10. We've got just over a minute left here in the first quarter. Violation called against the Olympians. Now we got number 55, Demetrius Doby, coming on. Coming off is Greg Culpepper. So Leuzinger going with a little more size. I mean, they've got 4 trees in there right now. I would imagine that Billy Stone will run the point. They look to get it inside. Leuzinger gets a hand on it. Pushing it up the floor is Dorrell Wright. Dorrell's short jumper is good. 17-12. Home team already in the bonus. Another rebound, this time by Donnell Wright. He slows it down, looks to give it off to Billy Stone. Stone gets it over to Doby. Doby in the corner to another Wright. Goes baseline. Reverse doesn't go. But on the follow, Darryl Street is fouled. Street's going to go to the line to shoot 2. So the Olympians giving a pretty good account of themselves here in the first quarter. They've been down by as much as 10 at one point, 17-7. Right now they're on a 5-0 run. Chance to add to it. Free throw is good. Got Quentin Crooks here at the table looking to report in, except he's reporting in for Street. That free throw doesn't go. Olympians come away with it though. Follow doesn't go. Olympians still in possession, out of bounds, and it's going to be indicated that it's Leuzinger. They pull the sub back. Street down low. Shot doesn't go. Can the Olympians come away with it? They do. Right now, this size that Coach Showalter put on the floor starting to pay off here for the Olympians. Got a foul. It's going to be called against the Saxons. Look like this is going to go against number 22. And it is. Didn't have the opportunity to get the officials' names for you. We'll get that for you at halftime, fans. 7 seconds left here in the first quarter. 4-point game. Leuzinger with a chance to cut into that. Shot put up. Does it go? No. Saxons now pushing. 1 second left. Shots up. Doesn't go. And that's how the first quarter will be recorded. The Saxons of North Torrance leading by a score of 17-13 over the Leuzinger Olympians here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22 in partnership with the good folks at Hawthorne Community Cable and our corporate partners at Time Warner. We thank you as always for joining us. I'm sorry. Mark. Okay.
Bryant.
Okay.
And Victor Johnson.
Okay. Are you Mark? Are you the ref?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, a little between the quarter festivities with some of the younger Saxons of the future. Saxons ball start the second half. That shot put up from behind the three-point line. A substitute, boy. That's Yoshida with the shot. Kesiuki, if you see him on the streets, his first name. Olympians brought some height in there at the end of the first quarter. It paid off for them. They don't get the free throw. You're going to have a foul here on Dorrell Wright. Bonus situation for the Saxons.
Okay,
looks
Rufus.
like they're indicating that that's 2 on Wright. From what we have on the scoreboard, sends Yoshida to the line to shoot 2 because of the bonus. I'm joined at the table now by Brian Gutman, Brian, your early thoughts on what you saw in the first quarter?
From what I've seen in the first quarter, the North Saxons defense was created many turnovers, 7 to be exact. And it looks like the Olympians are going to have to break through that full court penetration. Oh, big dunk right there.
Olympians get it inside, and on the slam dunk, that's Donnell Wright. Right now, the Olympians leading in dunks 2-0. That makes the score 20-15. Leuzinger comes away with the loose ball, looking to run again. That's Darrell Wright. Nice give off. Darrell gives it off to Billy Stone. Score the basket. Now we got ourselves a bit of a track meet, fans. And the Olympians gain possession. You're going to get a foul call on number 34, Jason Davis.
Yeah, coming into the second quarter, it was all North High as they had a superb full court press. Looks like Leuzinger did make some in the quarter adjustments and are coming out a little bit better and penetrating that press.
Olympians pushing it up. That's Culpepper back on the floor. Culpepper comes off of a screen. A lot of contact there, no call. And this may be an easy deuce for the Saxons, and it is. Scored a deuce for number 11, Kenny Brown, makes it a 22-17 game. And on the violation, looks like the Saxons may have stepped out of bounds. That was Kenny Brown with it. It's going to be Leuzinger basketball. They get it into Culpepper.
Screen up
Crooks
top.
with the screen over on the left side. That's Stone. Stone shot from three-point range, doesn't go. Crooks contests for the rebound. Can't get it. Now the Olympians retreat back on defense. For a 2 or 3 minute spurt there, we had a bit of a track meet. Yoshida now running the offense for the Saxons. On the curl out top, they give it off to Kenny Brown. Now we're going to have violation on it. Substitutes coming on the floor for the Saxons. Leuzinger now with a substitute of their own. They get Darryl Street back on the court. Stone pushes it up, gets it under the Street. Street with a nice touch underneath. Darryl Street, Brian, has improved with each game that we've seen them play.
Yes, he has. He has been a superb player throughout the season, and he's been a key player to this team.
Street with the rebound. Olympians now walking it up. Culpepper with the push. Being guarded out top by Gerard Carroll, who was the starter. They get it inside. Nice touch jumper there by Darrell Wright. Our score now 22-21. 5 minutes and some change left in the first quarter. They get it inside. Donnell Wright with the foul. Of course, he allows Jason Davis to score. That's one of the things that you teach guys, Brian, particularly in that situation where Wright made the decision to foul, but if you're going to foul a guy, you got to prevent the basket.
Yeah, you got to foul him hard enough. Number 34, Jason Davis, has been a pretty big presence down low so far in this game. He came in midway through the first quarter and has hung in there pretty good.
So what we've got. Right now we got an issue about who the foul was called on. The table has, and they take the information from the referee, that it was on number 3, Darrell Wright. Referee says that wasn't who he called it on. Now we've got another foul call. And this is one of those deals, Brian, I've been around a lot of games. You can see this brewing. You've just joined me, I know, but I tell you, for the past 13 minutes, there's been nothing but a running dialogue between Coach Showalter and the officials here. And I got to admit, in some regards, he's had some very valid points with regard to his displeasure with the officiating.
That is true.
And who? One.
The Saxons so far this game are sure a run and gun type team. They don't like to walk the ball up court at all.
So our score now, 26-21 in favor of the Saxons. Looks like another potential for another turnover. Olympians pushing it up. They break the press. They get it underneath over to Donnell Wright. Right out top. Right fouled a couple of times, but no call there. There was Davis on the handle. They look to get it inside, knocked away by Crooks. Now to get it out top. They attack the middle. That shot put up and in by Gerard Carroll.
Nice touch by
Our score 28-21 now. Once again, the press bothering the Olympians just a little bit. Another near turnover.
The Olympians need to start getting more players up to help out the guy passing the ball inbounds.
They get it inside this time to Darryl Street. And although he doesn't make it, follow put up and in by Donnell Wright. Yoshida from the outside doesn't go, but North controls the rebound. Blocked there by Street. Street gives it off to Culpepper. Culpepper pushing, gets it in the middle, pass it over to the left. That shot doesn't go by Stone.
So like you said, with the Street since the beginning of the season, has picked up his game, not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side.
North now slows it down. Handling is Carroll for North. He gives it off to Yoshida. Back out top, and you're going to get a travel call against Carroll. Coming on the floor now for the Olympians, number 33, Aaron McCarter. Looks like that was Billy Stone who went off. No, it wasn't Stone. I correct myself. It was Culpepper. That shot put up, you can hear the slap from here. Crooks went up with the shot, fouled on the play by number 45. Number 45 for the Saxons is Chris Yamanjin.
Doyle Wrights came in this game. He's having a pretty good game, as throughout the season he is not only Leuzinger's leading scorer at 13.6 points per game, but also on rebounds at 9.7. So if they keep him in the offensive flow of the game, the Olympians do have a chance of getting a victory here against the North High Saxons.
Well, the Olympians, again, for a North team that comes in 2 games over 500 at 12-10, scored 2 free throws there for Crooks. Makes it a 28-25 game. Again, they're playing very well.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's no secret that this is a young team, and when you're young in life, they're growing pains. Olympians come away with it. That's McCarter. They don't look to run. He gets it over to Stone. Stone against some pressure. Excellent ball handling shown by Stone. Tries to get it inside the Street. Knocked away, though, by Gustavus, number 55. Now we've got a foul on the play. Looks like it's going to go against North. And it is against North. It's against Yoshida. Let me take a chance to tell you that the officials in tonight's contest are Mark Bryant is the ref, Victor Johnson is the umpire. If we get a chance, we'll point them out to you. Again, that's Culpepper operating out top. Pass it over on the left side to McCarter. McCarter attacks the basket, gets it to go. And again, with 2:40 left, we've got a 1-point ball game again at 28-27. Gustavus' shot from inside the key goes. Nice touch for the big man. He's a 6'4" junior. And you get a quick timeout up against the 5-second count. Wise decision there by McCarter.
Yeah, the Olympians still having a little bit of problems with that full court press. They don't seem to have a set strategy. They need to get one settled down right here. It's already created about 8 turnovers for them this game.
So with the foul trouble on Darrell Wright, and I believe Darrell has 3, is it? I'm being told by Chris Phillips, considered by most to be the very best statistician in the South Bay, if not all of L.A. County. Of course, we know that she does a fine job for us when we were over at Leuzinger High, giving us these statistics that help make the broadcast a little more enjoyable for you. And as always, as we have for the last couple of years, we thank Chris for her help in that regard.
So the Saxons, being that they have 13 wins this season, they are automatically do qualify for the playoffs, but there's numerous other teams that have over 13 wins that could already qualify for the playoffs. So their playoffs hopes are still up in the air. It's not set just yet.
Olympians press break. In effect, This time they get it over to right. That shot's a little bit long. Street doesn't go after it, out of position to contest for the rebound. That's Gerard Carroll along with Yoshida. They're the guards. Down low, you get for North, you've got number 55, Gustavus, joined by 42, Hurd, along with 23, Espinosa. This is Espinosa with the handle, number 23 that I was mentioning. Nice inside feed there to Gustavus. Pass doesn't go. Olympians trying to come away with it.
Great ball movement by the Saxons.
And I said Gustavus, there was 42, Hurd, actually. That shot from the outside, put up, doesn't go. Crooks contest, Crooks comes away with it, gives it off to Culpeper. Olympians now walk it up. The margin is 3. The Olympians on the short and yet another TO for the Olympians. That snowbird doesn't go for the Saxons. Culpeper looking to push again. Now you got a lot of contact and a foul call against Yoshida.
That last miss by the Saxons was a shot I'm sure not a single player on this court would like to miss. A wide open layup. Something they practice every day in practice. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself in the butt after the game after that one.
So going to the line to shoot the 1-and-1 for the Olympians will be number 5, Greg Culpeper. One of only 2 seniors on the Leuzinger roster. The other one we've seen, number 33, McCarter, doesn't get the first to go, but he comes down with the offensive rebound, goes up, fouled on the play by number 23 for the Saxons. Espinosa is going to send him back to the line. This time he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
So the Olympians have a chance to get it to a 1-point ball game with under a minute left to go. Who knew it'd be this close of a game after the start the Olympians got off to?
That's the second consecutive miss by Culpeper, though the first one was on a 1-and-1. This time he misses the front end of a 2-shot free throw. So he makes one out of a tray and cuts it to a 2-point game. Under a minute left here in the first half, fans, at North High School. The Leuzinger Olympians contesting this thing pretty strongly. There you see the coaching staff of North High. They go baseline, shot doesn't go, but we're gonna have a foul called on the play. They call this foul on Crooks.
Show that's 2 on Quinton.
From the looks of the beginning game, it looks like North High Saxons are going to have an easy ball game here. But let's not forget, in the last meeting, the Olympians were victorious over North High.
That's Brown, the 6'2 senior at the line. He makes the first. Substitute now comes on, 42 goes off. That's Hurd. 34, Jason Davis, the starter, comes on.
Jason Davis in, he was a big present.
Second rebound, no good. Olympians, however, can't come away with it. They trail by 3. Shot clock still alive. It's up in this gym, you can't. Oh, there's the clock.
Big block.
So, with 26 seconds left on the shot clock, 28 on the game clock, North has the ball. Espinosa from Carroll. That's Carroll with the handle. Now Espinosa comes over here on the near side, curls underneath, back door, looks for the shot there, puts it up, doesn't go. Olympians come away with it with 8 seconds left. Chance to cut the deficit to 1, if not tie it. Culpeper attacks the basket, doesn't go. Follow slam, doesn't go either by Donnell Wright.
Big follow-up by Wright at the end. That one just didn't go through.
And now you got the official talking to the Olympians.
So we're going to go into halftime with the home Saxons leading 31-28.
So, fans, there you have it. Our first half concludes with the Olympians trailing by a margin of 3 at 31-28 on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22, Hawthorne Community Cable Channel 22, and our partners at Time Warner. We thank you for joining us, and we'll be back at the top of the second half. And we're back for second half action, fans, right here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. Leuzinger inbounds the ball first. That's right, goes straight to the basket. Doesn't get the foul, but Street with the follow. 22, of course, Donnell Wright. That makes our score now 31-30. Leuzinger was nip and tuck most of the way. Got down by 1 or 2. Now you've got a foul. It's going to be called on Street. It's going to send North to the line. Going to the line's number 34, Jason Davis. But this also gives us a moment as he shoots 2 for my colleague Scott Gutman, unrelated to my other friend that you never met, Brian Gutman, to give you some first half stats. Scott, excuse me. See, I keep thinking of Brian.
No big deal. No big deal. Ruth is your name now.
There you go.
Daryl Wright of Leuzinger's leading with 8 points, but he's got to watch out because he has 3 fouls coming in. And as you all know, 5 fouls and he will be ejected from the game. Let's get back to the action. I'll give you some more stats in just a sec.
North again showing the press, which gave Leuzinger some difficulty in the first half. Leuzinger, of course, had a plate full of turnovers. This time they lose it again. One of the learning curves that the Olympians have to go through, Coach Showalter being aware of this, I mean, your target is to keep it under 20 free throws. That foul called on number 33, the senior Aaron McCarter. That sends Carroll to the line to shoot 2.
And for North, Kenny Brown is leading the way. He has 9 points, a 6'3" senior. And on the Leuzinger Olympians side of the ball, Big Daryl Street down low is leading the Olympians with 5 rebounds.
Street played a very good game down low. I'm glad you got a mention in of him.
Nice pass.
Excellent pass there. Goes inside. They don't get it, though. That was Davis inside who didn't get it. There was a foul on the play. That foul was against Sensac.
Saxon setting up for the full court press here. Let's see if the Olympians can break through.
And that pressure, of course, gave the Olympians a lot of trouble in the first half. This time they seem to have adjusted to it just a little.
Screen up top.
Still out top. So the Saxons are pressing them 94 feet, which keeps the team out of its offensive rhythm. There you see a over the back, but no call. Saxon got numbers, and they scored a basket by June Sensac. Makes it a 35-30 score now in favor of the Saxons. Leuzinger led early, fans, at 4-0. They haven't led since then. And here's yet another turnover.
There's Gerard Carroll on the play.
3-on-1.
Another nice
Scored
pass.
an easy basket, no, but give the foul to the Olympians.
That's 2 straight transitions where the sophomore Gerard Carroll has had 2 phenomenal passes. It's hard to believe he's only a sophomore and he's a starting point guard for the Saxons. He's a bright future for them.
That foul on McCarter, his second as well. Sensac at the line, converts the first.
Olympians here are going to have to come through and beat the penetration of the Saxons on this full court press. And also on the offensive side of the ball, get some more ball movement as the Saxons do, because the Saxons on the offensive side of the ball, they are just phenomenal when it comes to ball movement. As usually each time down the court, all 5 Saxon players do touch the ball.
Yet another turnover by the Olympians. The last 3 trips down have resulted in turnovers. Now we've got a 7-point game at 37-30. Olympians have been down by as much as 10 in this contest at 17-7. But right now, in need of protecting the basketball. That shot doesn't go. Inside look by the Saxons. Olympians come away with it. They've got to find a
Got a
an
3-2
answer to the
defense.
riddle of trying to get it inside. That shot put up by Wright. It doesn't go. And possession will remain with the Olympians as it was out off of the Saxons.
The Olympians just haven't seemed to get their leading scorer, Darrell Wright, too much into the game. He's a
Hurd
big
goes off
offensive presence.
and Gilliland comes on. That shot put up a little bit hard there. Now we got a foul call. Number 22. Let's see what the foul is here.
That's 4 on Terrell. Blue 3. There's 2 fouls.
And they called 2 fouls against the Olympians. And just to make sure, I guess, that they got the Wright brother, they called both fouls on the Wrights.
Davis down low.
One was a
takes it up strong.
flagrant and one was a personal. Now, that one is on number 3, Darrell Wright. I'm going to consult with Chris Phillips here to see.
Darrell has 4.
And how many does Darnell have?
Darnell?
That free throw put up and in by 34 Street. Excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong 34. That 34 is Jason Davis.
So the Olympians now are bringing in number 10, Quentin Crooks, and substituting for number 34, Mr. Streets.
So Street has 4 fouls as well. Suffice to say, we've got a couple of Olympians that are in foul trouble. If nothing else, this one has the potential of getting away from them just because some of the better players are liable to foul out.
The Olympians here in trouble. That's not a good sign, being that they're already down by 9.
That free throw against Brown.
Streets checking back in. As Darrell Wright got himself in foul trouble, so majority of the starters for the Olympians are in foul trouble.
Get it over here to Stone. They tried to get it inside again, the Street, but it doesn't go. Think some of your perimeter guys may need to start shooting. That shot put up from the outside doesn't go. Saxons come down with the offensive rebound, though. Now they reset it by getting it out to Carroll. He gives it off to Brown. Back out to Carroll. They look inside. Nice inside play. Back off to Brown on the right side. Olympians come down with it. That's Quentin Crooks. 39-30 is our score, fans. We've got 4:40 and some change left in the third. Not been a good third quarter thus far for the Olympians. That gets them off the snide, though.
Nice
Excellent
feed.
pass. This is a very good passing North team, Scott.
Definitely. Jared Carroll's just leading the way. He just runs a point phenomenally. Prototype point guard, always looking to pass before shoot, and he sure is finding the open Saxons every time he comes down the court. Spectacular passing.
There's another familiar saying you've heard tonight. Yet another turnover against the Olympians. Foul's going to go, though, against North.
This is giving North a chance to set up that full court press here.
Now 55 comes on along with number 3. So, of course, that's Demetrius Doby and Darrell Wright. They go in for Darryl Street and Quentin Crooks. Leuzinger right now needing to stay close in this game. That's Darrell Wright. Looked like he was fouled on the play. No call there. That shot put up and in. Scored a 3-pointer for June Sensak. And now we've got a 12-point game, the largest Leuzinger deficit of the game. And Coach Showalter finally gets the technical that he was, you saw that one coming. I was telling you earlier, Scott, that you could just feel that one building up. Of course, a lot of frustration on the mind of Coach Showalter at the free throw line, shooting the technicals. A Sensak makes the first.
Saxons hit both free throws. That's putting it up to a 14-point lead. It's been all North High Saxons here in the third quarter, Rufus.
And Saxons maintain possession on the technical. Of course, you get the shots and the ball. Leuzinger right now needing to remain poised and under control. Again, been getting beat pretty regularly. And here you'll have a foul call against the Saxons. That's number 2, Adam Ross. He's a senior with the foul. A little bit of frustration setting in on the part of the Olympians, I'm sensing.
Yes,
Scott.
They sure haven't been getting too many calls, but that's no reason not maintain their composure. They are high school athletes, and they got to maintain their composure and give it all they got throughout the game, no matter what the circumstances are. And right now, it's all Saxons.
All Saxons, although the Olympians come down with the rebound on that play. They don't have numbers, so they stop to get it out over here on the left perimeter. Shot put up and in. That's a three-pointer by Billy Stone. Makes it a 13-point game now at 48-35. We've got 2:50 left in the third. That shot from distance put up doesn't go. Olympians come down with it. That's Wright with the rebound. Wright gives it off to Stone for another three-pointer. This three doesn't go for Stone. Olympians back on defense. They've got numbers, needing to protect inside. That shot put up doesn't go. Wright comes down with it again. Of course, 22 is Donnell Wright, 3 being Dorrell Wright.
Same
Here's
look.
Stone again. So he makes 2 out of 3. Now we've got ourselves a 10-point game again. So the Olympians right back in this. 2 minutes left in the third. That shot put up and in. That's a three-pointer by Sensak. So they give back 3 of it, and now they're going to get a turnover. They try the long court pass. It doesn't go.
Travel on the play.
And they get a travel call on Ross. Turnover will go to the Olympians. Dorrell Wright pushing it up the court. Wright loses it. Gonna get a hold call on the play. A hold goes against Matt Ime.
This track meet style of play, Rufus, I don't think favors Olympians too much. I think it's in favor of the Saxons. Maybe they need to slow it down with Greg Culpepper and just have him handle the ball and look for some open man. Like that,
Well,
that was
by
a great
attacking
pass.
the basket, they get it up and in. That was Dorrell Wright on the score. 3-second call against the Saxons. Leuzinger still hanging around, Scott, at 51-40 with a minute and a half left here in the third.
They're still in the ball game.
That three-pointer from way downtown doesn't go for the Olympians.
NBA look right there. That was real deep.
That three-pointer put up doesn't go. Donnell Wright comes down with it. They got numbers. Wright goes straight down the middle, puts it up and in himself.
Right, went end to end
Now
right
this
there.
is where you've got to get back. The Wright brothers have got to watch their foul situation. Leuzinger comes away with a turnover. Get it in the middle. Spread the floor. Dorrell Wright puts it up. It doesn't go. Leuzinger tries to follow. Loose ball underneath. And they say it's going to be out off of the Olympians.
The Saxons do not just seem to be the same team with Gerard Carroll out, and he's not running the point. They don't have a steady flow on offense as they do when he's in there. What's going on here? Whoa, 3-on-1.
Olympians down by 9. And with the follow, number 34, Jason Davis off the miss by Brown. Shot clock still in effect. That one doesn't go for the Olympians. Right now, the Olympians looking at the long ball as the way to get back in this thing. Score another basket there for number 11, Kenny Brown. 13-point ball game again. A lot of reach and a lot of contact. Woo. Looks like a double there. There was a nice skip pass. That shot put up. No call for the Olympians. Olympians look to go up again, and now we're going to have a foul call inside.
Some high-paced action here late in the third quarter, huh, Rufus?
5 seconds left. They're going to send Daryl Street in. They bring out Demetrius Doby. They get it in the street, up and in, score the basket. Good substitution, good play. It works. Street uses his size. I don't need to tell you, the Street's a 6'9" junior, and I'm just going to guesstimate here.
Streets is not a small man on the floor. He's not only tall, but he does have the massive power.
I'm going to guess that he's about 260, 270. Olympians with another chance here. Clock hasn't started. They don't get it. Oh! Doesn't go. But after 3 in the books officially, it's 55 for the Saxons, 44 for the Leuzinger Olympians on our Game of the Week right here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22. Hawthorne's Community Cable Channel 22, and our corporate partners at Time Warner Communications. The Leuzinger bench there talking over their fourth quarter strategy. Both teams in the bonus. They're looking at how to make up an 11-point deficit in 8 minutes. And of course, Coach Gary Duperrin talking it over with his squad as well.
It's been an interesting game so far, but North High is just basically overtook the game pretty much predominantly, sorry fans, excuse me. Predominantly the whole game, the Saxons have controlled the flow of the game. Leuzinger's been kept their hopes alive pretty much throughout the game, but have never really been able to get into it.
And now we come back to live action to start the fourth and final quarter here at North, home of the Saxons. We're down on 182nd Street here in Torrance. And that's going to be a turnover, one of the few the Saxons have had, as Matt Ime throws it away, trying to hit Yoshida across court. Leuzinger with a couple of guys on the floor with 4 fouls. Dorrell Wright, number 3, along with Daryl Street, number 34. Both have 4 fouls. Scored a basket there for the Olympians, back to a 9-point game. Leuzinger may want to think about protecting some of these guys in a zone, and that's what they do.
Leuzinger run that 2-3 defense.
Down on the baseline, good ball movement there. Leuzinger 2-3, looking pretty good right now. That shot's put up, doesn't draw iron. Dorrell Wright comes away with it. He pushes it up, gets it over here to Stone. Stone on the 3-point line, thinks about it, gives it in to Wright. Wright does a twist, his shot doesn't go. It's gonna be out of bounds off of North.
Saxons look confused this time down on the defense side as they had 4 men right in the key under the basket.
Inbound goes there to Street. Street makes some room for himself underneath. His basket doesn't go, but Wright's follow-up tip does. And we've got a 7-point game with 7 minutes left at 55-48. Leuzinger not going away. Having been down by as much as 16 in the second half, they're back within 7. That third quarter was a tough one for them. Now they come away with another free throw. This is Wright. Wright pushes it. Wright with the finger roll.
And goes straight through the locker room door.
55-50 our score now. Leuzinger right back in the thick of this one, fans. We've got 6.5 minutes left to anybody's contest. Leuzinger now needing to protect a couple of guys, and that looks like it's going to be number 5 on Daryl Street.
So that's it for Streets. Olympians are going to be missing them down low. Streets sure did have a superb game.
Good game, though, for Darryl Street. I mean, this guy should really be proud of his effort tonight. Best game of the season so far. We've seen him play a demon on the boards, as well as scored a couple of big baskets for the Olympians. Putting the free throw in is Gilliland, Alex Gilliland.
Pardon me, Rufus. Streets is leading the game as Olympians' leading rebounder. He left the game with 10 boards, so they're going to miss him down low.
Going to have a foul call there against number 55, Gustavus.
That was on the Saxons coaching staff. You would look to get Gerard Carroll back in the game, as when he's been in the game, the flow of the offense has been a much steadier, constant pace. As you can see, the lead was at about 15 points when he left, and it's now dwindled down to only 6 points. So they need the general back on the floor to run the point.
Again, at the line for the Olympians, Donnell Wright to shoot the 1-and-1. Gets the front end. Second free throw, good. And got a timeout being called. Let's see who it is. Okay, Leuzinger calls the full. So, with 6:19 left, fans, we've got a 4-point ball game. Leuzinger trailing by a margin of 56-52, but they're pushing the Saxons real hard right now, Scott.
Yes, they are. I mean, they've came back from being down about 13 points going into the fourth quarter. Now they're down by 4. They're right back in this game. They have control their intensity, not let down, and hopefully North High won't put in Gerard Carroll, because when he comes in, he finds any passing lane. The ball will squirm through any little hole.
Excellent passer. That one-hand bounce pass that he has, where he threads a needle. I mean, that's truly threading a needle. So the Olympians are going to have to go the rest of the way without Darryl Street. He goes out with them down by 4. We'll see what happens. But right now, all you can do is bear down a little bit and see what happens.
Carroll's back in the game. Can't speak too soon.
So Saxons pushing it up. That's number 5 for the Saxons. That's Carroll who gives it off. Sensak has it now. Number 34 is Davis. He's their big guy. That's another Olympian with 5 fouls. Goes up, and it's just an out of bounds. Goes off the Olympians. Olympians give him some pressure. That shot put up and in by Jason Davis.
Great touch by Davis.
Stone threads the needle, loses the handle, no call on it. Now you got a 2-on-2. Do they pull it out? No, they put it up, doesn't go, but the Saxons come away with the offensive rebound. Coach Showalter exhorting his troops on to use the 2-3. Leuzinger's defense looking pretty good, and
ref almost
blue
called
3
a T on number 3.
with a foul on the arm. Man. And okay. So we've got number 3, Dorrell Wright now, Scott, who's fouled out. So they've lost 2 of their biggest weapons, offensively and defensively. Darryl Street and Wright. Wright, they're one of their biggest offensive weapons.
That's their leading scorer. So it's going to be tough for the Olympians to
Coach
get a lead or get back in this game.
You're exactly right. I mean, they're down by 6 now, and Sensak is at the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
Saxons, as a team, pretty good at the free throw line.
They get the front end, earns them the second one.
So now the question is, where are the Olympians going to get their offensive spark from?
Oh, you're exactly right about that. Some other guys, well, they've got a couple of guys out there who can do it. You got Crooks, number 10. You still got Donnell Wright. But the key is they lose a lot of size inside. That shot put up doesn't go. Rebound taken down, doesn't go by the Olympians. Should have a foul against North on the play. And it's gonna send Donnell Wright to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. 8-point ball game. It was 4 points at the 6-something mark when Darryl Street went out. Of course, a minute or so after that, they lost Dorrell Wright. Donnell Wright's free throw cuts them deficit to 7.
Rufus, if the Saxons do come out victorious tonight, they got to contribute to their defense, as they have forced Leuzinger to 17 turnovers this game.
Wow. 2 free throws there by Donnell Wright. Should have a good held ball, and it's going to be Olympian basketball. Good defensive play there by the Olympians, a critical one. Saxons going with the full court press now. Olympians need to get it in, and they do. They mix it up. Okay, this time they break the press fairly easily. Let's see if they can get a set play out of this. They're in their half-court sets. Got to protect. Jumper from the free throw line goes for Donnell Wright. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-point game again with 4.5 left, fans. Good inside pass there. And we got to see what the call is going to be. Scored a basket for Jason Davis.
Davis down low is not scared to get his hands or feet dirty. He's a banger down there.
They call a foul on Donnell Wright. He has 3. Free throw doesn't go. 6-point ball game. Wright with the rebound. Olympians already have lost 2 of their starters to fouls here. They get it underneath. They try to get it underneath the Wright. Goes off his hand. Turnover Olympians. North pushing.
3 seconds. 5 seconds.
Stack over here. Get it inside. Boom. Foul's going to be given there by Quentin Crooks. Good foul that time, though. Prevents Jason Davis from scoring the easy 2, makes him go to the line to earn 2, Scott.
Yep. Olympians are down by 6. If the Saxons keep hitting the free throws all the way down to maybe the 1-minute mark, Olympians can kiss this game goodbye.
Davis's first free throw is good. Substitute coming on now, number 55. Demetrius Dobie goes on. Aaron McCarter goes off. McCarter been very effective for the Olympians this evening in breaking the press. That second free throw, no good. Wright comes down with it. And they're going to call a charge and foul against Quentin Crooks. Crooks attacked the basket, looked pretty strong to me.
That's 4 against Quincy.
7-point ball game, fans, at 63-56. 3:30 left in the game. Leuzinger had gotten close, and now we get another foul against the Olympians.
Wow, the Olympians putting themselves in big foul trouble here real late in the game, Rufus.
That foul goes against Wright as well. There you see Street, who had the good game. He's already fouled out. He fouled out at the 6-minute mark. Olympians were only down by 2 at the time. Davis at the free throw line, hits the first.
Free throws, always key late in the game. Keeps the team in or out of the game, and the Saxons are keeping the
Misses the
Olympians out.
second one miss. Wright comes down with it, and we got a call that's going to go against the Saxons. It'll result in 2 free throws for Donnell Wright. 64-56. Scott, 8-point deficit. Wright, who had hit 4 straight, I should say, misses the front end.
Crowd getting into the game.
So Wright misses a pair in clutch time. And that shot goes for Yamanjin. And Yamanjin kind of pushed that one. 10-point game once again. Leuzinger attacks, and we're gonna have a charge call against Billy Stone. Not a bad decision, though, Scott, to attack the basket.
Not a bad decision. That was great defense by June Sinsack. Way to stand there tough and take the charge.
Olympians now having to contest every loose ball, perhaps needing to pick up pressure all over the floor. We've got 3 minutes left. Their deficit is now 12 as they go back inside on the entry pass to Davis.
And another great look by Gerard Carroll.
Stone with the jumper. His jumper from distance doesn't go, but we got a foul on the floor here that's going to send Crooks to the line to shoot 2. We're in the double bonus now, fans, for both teams.
Usually in high school and college level basketball, this is the part of the game where it does slow down, and the latter portion of the game is decided at the free throw line, especially when it's a decently tight game as it is right now.
So, Crooks makes the first. Coming off is number 2 Stone, going on as the senior, Aaron McCarter. Second free throw, doesn't draw iron, violation, turnover to the Saxons. Timeout being taken by the Olympians now.
Rufus, as it stands right now, I just do not see the Olympians getting back in this game, especially with their 2 main scoring threats out the game and being down by 9 points with 2:37 left. It's going to take somewhat of a miracle for them to get back in this game and get a lead.
Well, it will, and certainly it doesn't hurt that 2 of their biggest guns right now on the bench having DQ'd because of fouls, and you got another key player, Donnell Wright, who's in foul trouble with 4 with 2:37 left. But right now, the Olympians showing a lot of spirit and a lot of heart. And again, as we've told the fans so many times this season, a very young Olympian team, only 2 seniors on this team. This is a team where these guys are getting valuable experience for next year. I think the Leuzinger fans have a lot to look forward to in terms of next season.
Oh my!
Good block there on the board, but they're going to say he got him on the arm. That was Crooks who went up on the glass to contest the shot by Kenny Brown.
Gerard Carroll has some bright future. Some of the passes he has dished off to his teammates have been superb. I guess you would say Magic-is, as in Magic Johnson style. He is phenomenal point guard.
And so the real question now is how many Olympians would there be left to play the game? You know,
That's
of course,
a good question to ask.
by rule, the contest can continue with less than 5 guys. You know, I officiate myself, and I can tell you. Now we got a technical call against the Olympians for failure to make the substitute, at least in the official's mind, within the allotted 30 seconds. Okay, those are the 2 shots for the foul. Now you get Sinsack shooting a 2 for the technical. Sinsack makes the first, makes it a 70-57 game. Sinsack misses the second one. 13-point deficit, 2.5 left. And it'll be North's ball to inbound.
North slowing the tempo down as they know they got a pretty big lead. And just going to play it safe.
Once again, they look at the entry pass. And you're right, North has slowed the tempo. They do get the entry pass in. Going to have a traveling call against Yamanjin. Olympians nearly turn it over, maintain possession, nearly turn it over again, maintain possession. That shot has a toe on the line, so it won't count as a 3. They get it. McCarter goes up and inside for the deuce, makes it an 11-point game, 1.5 left. Olympians needing to contest everything right now.
Oh, we got
Carroll beats it behind the back pass, scored a bucket for Davis.
Beautiful behind the back pass by
Carroll there reaches over. It's going to be Olympian ball out of bounds off of Carroll. Coming in now is Hurd. Going off is Yamanjin.
Rufus, out of all the games you've seen this year, have you seen such a phenomenal passer as Gerard Carroll is for the Saxons?
I'm not sure that I have, nor have I seen as good a passing team. And that foul's going to be against Dobie.
There is no I in team, as the Saxons would say, as every player on the floor seems to be beginning to look and touching the ball every time down.
These guys look, they do look to make the extra pass, and that's the mark of an unselfish team, Scott, as you duly noted. 72-59. That's Sinsack at the line. Sinsack's made 11 tonight at the line, makes the first free throw. 14-point game. Second one makes it 15. The largest margin of the night, by my recollection, was 16. Turnover there for the Olympians. And now real frustration starting to set in. And this is where the officials have to take control. Going to trust that the Olympians will keep their cool about them and their sportsmanship. Some nights it's just not your night. In this case, some afternoons. This, of course, was an early 5:30 start to the night's contest. But Olympians made a battle out of it, Scott, for a good long while. But in the end, when you lose Darryl Street, when you lose Dorrell Wright, when you lose Quentin Crooks, that's 3 of your 5 starters. It's kind of hard.
Real hard. Leuzingers did put up a pretty hard-fought battle today. I mean, they kept themselves in the game pretty much throughout. And they made a great run midway, beginning of the 4th quarter where they're only down by 4. But once those guys in foul trouble start getting disqualified, there was nothing they could do about it.
So Coach Gary Duperrin, with 1:22 left, makes wholesale substitutions. Of course, they've yet to pull the press off, as they've pressed most of the game. And I'm sure that was a part of the scouting report, Scott, that they knew that the Olympians were a turnover-prone team. And you figure if a team is turnover-prone, if you press them enough, they're bound to give it up. And, of course, that's what the Olympians have done on too frequent an occasion this evening. So with under a minute left, Leuzinger down by 16, 75-59. Only thing in doubt now is the final margin. That one doesn't go. Olympians come down with the rebound. Donnell, lowers the shoulder, but there's no call on the play. Simply goes out of bounds. Now he comes back to it, gives it off to Culpepper. Culpepper breaks the press with the dribble. Over here to Stone now. Dobie down on the baseline. Dobie goes up, gets it to go off the glass. 75-61. Shot clock off now. We're under 20 seconds left in the contest. Saxon's content to hold it at this point. One more drive to the basket, doesn't go. On the follow, though, is Gustavus. So he gets himself a point or two. Now with 2 seconds left, Olympians put up a three, and it's good. Score the basket for Culpepper. That'll make our final 77-64 here at North High as the Olympians come down to play the Saxons. Doesn't quite go their way, but as I said, this team, as we've seen them on several games this season, Scott, competitive to the very end. Tough loss, but again, a learning experience, a lot that this team can be proud of in terms of the way they competed and they played. They lost 3 starters. They still hung tough for as long as they could, made a game out of it. But in the end, the North Torrance Saxons just a bit too strong for them.
Yeah, Rufus, at the games you've seen this year, do you think North High can make a valid push throughout the CIF playoffs this season?
Well, I think North does some things well. Clearly, the best team we've seen thus far this season is El Segundo, though. But North will be competitive. They do some things well, and this is where you get into matchups, the right kind of team. Obviously, you have to give their coaching staff credit because they clearly scouted the Olympians. They knew to try to force turnovers. They did that very successfully, and that worked in their favor. A lot of points off of turnovers.
Definitely. That full court press at the beginning of the game was a killer as it got the Saxons off to a big early lead, and it seemed like throughout the game, the Olympians, all they were trying to do was get themselves back in the game. There were certain points to where they got back in the game and made it a close margin, but were never really able to capitalize and get a lead. I mean, they had that one lead, like you said at the beginning of the game, 4-0, but ever since then, downhill.
Well, again, it's all about the future, but nonetheless, a good effort tonight for the Olympians. Gives me one last opportunity to tell all you fans that this broadcast was a Lawndale Community Cable Channel 22 production, along with the folks at Hawthorne's Community Cable Channel 22, our colleagues over at Time Warner. All of this done under the expert direction of both Mr. Tom Strickfaden as well as Don Todd at Time Warner. For my colleague, Scott, better known as Brian in some circles, Gutman. Scott Gutman, really and truly fans, filling in tonight for Dave Marks. I'm Rufus Washington saying thank you for joining us. Join us again on Thursday's contest as we're at Leuzinger High School for a 7:30 tip. But as always, it's fun being here with you, and we'll see you the next time. Good night.
Good night, everyone.